Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I found out today that on YouTube, if you say anything about Muslims, they don't like it, and YouTube thinks they're more important than you are, and just telling the truth about Muslims. So I had a video that was called "How a Muslim Man Treats His Wife on a Day Out Shopping. What else have they done?" And I got some weird, I'm not following the YouTube guideline rules, and apparently the new guideline rules means that if you publish anything about Muslims, about the stuff that they do, the truth, you'll be marked that you did a bad thing and that you told the truth about Muslims. So apparently that's against the rules. So yeah, I logged in today and I got that. So look at that crap. What the fudge, man? Wow. So if you say anything bad about Muslims, you get a weird, you violated community guidelines. What the fudge? You know, and this is total bullcrap, because as you know, what's happening here and there is totally true. In fact, on YouTube, there is videos of Muslims cutting Christians' heads off. There's videos of Muslims cutting Muslims' heads off. So I mean, but if you have video showing a Muslim how he treats his wife while they're shopping, it was a video where the guy was yelling at his wife on a bus in front of everyone after they got done shopping. That's it. That's all. It wasn't even a beheading video. I was thinking about a beheading video, but apparently I see here that you can't even do. I'm sure they'll freaking kill me if I do that. So. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that neat? Isn't that nice? If you tell the truth about Muslims, wow. So apparently their religion is more important than yours, and you can't tell the truth. So that it's funny. I was looking at my real-time views and all that crap, and this sucker was cranking. And then as you see, look at that, it's a little blank spot now because some dickhead said I violated community standard, which is bullcrap. I did nothing wrong. Unbelievable. Crank it along, 77,000 views in 48 hours, and a Muslim said, "You're being mean, you're telling the truth that I beat the crap out of my wife." Which they do. A wife to a Muslim is a dog, is a piece of crap. I'm going to get banned again for that? Are you serious? Sad people. Wake up, man. Everything is illegal and you are not free. Unless you're a Muslim.
I was born to hate Jews. It was part of my life. I never questioned it. I was not born in Iran or Syria. I was born in England. My parents moved there from Pakistan. Theirs was the typical immigrant story. Moved to the West in the hope of making a better life for themselves and their children. We were a devout Muslim family, but not extremist or radical in any way. We only wished the best for everyone. Everyone except the Jews. The Jews we believed were aliens living in stolen Muslim land, occupiers who were engaged in a genocide against the Palestinian people. Our hatred, therefore, was justified and righteous, and it made me and my friends vulnerable to the arguments of radical extremists. If the Jews were as evil as we had always believed, mustn't those who support them, Christians, Americans, and others in the West, be just as evil? Beginning in the 1990s, speakers and teachers at mosques and in schools began to endlessly repeat this theme. We were not Western, we were not British, we were Muslims, first and only. Our loyalty was to our religion and to our fellow Muslims. We owed nothing to the Western nations that welcomed us. As Westerners, they were our enemies. All of this had its desired effect. At least, it did on me. It changed the way that I saw the world. I began to see the suffering of Muslims, including in Britain, as the fault of Western imperialism. The West was at war with us, and the Jews controlled the West. My experience at university in Britain only enhanced my increasingly radical beliefs. Hating Israel was a badge of honor. Stage an anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian rally, and you were sure to draw a large, approving crowd. While at university, I decided the protests and propaganda against Israel were not enough. True jihad demanded violence. So I made plans to join the real fight. I would leave college and join a terrorist training camp in Pakistan. But fortunately for me, fate intervened. In a bookstore. I came across a book called The Case for Israel by Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz. The Case for Israel? What case could there be? The title itself made me furious, and I began to read the pages almost as an act of defiance. How ill-informed, how stupid could this guy be to defend the indefensible? Well, he was a Jew. That had to be the answer. Still, I read, and what I read challenged all of my dogmas about Israel and the Jews. I read that it wasn't Israel that created the Palestinian refugee crisis, it was the Arab countries, the United Nations, and the corrupt Palestinian leadership. I read that Jews didn't exploit the Holocaust to create the State of Israel. The movement to create a modern Jewish state dated back to the 19th century, and ultimately to the beginnings of the Jewish people almost 4,000 years ago. And I read that Israel is not engaged in genocide against the Palestinians. On the contrary, the Palestinian population has actually doubled in just 20 years. All this did was make me angrier. I needed to prove Dershowitz wrong, to see with my own eyes how racist and oppressive Israel really was. So I bought a plane ticket. I would travel to Israel, the home of my enemy. And that's when everything changed. Everything. What I saw with my own eyes was even more challenging than what Dershowitz had written. Instead of apartheid, I saw Muslims, Christians and Jews coexisting. Instead of hate, I saw acceptance and even compassion. I saw a raucous, modern, liberal democracy, full of flaws, certainly, but fundamentally decent. I saw a country that wanted nothing more than to live in peace with its neighbors. I saw my hatred melting before my eyes. I knew right then what I had to do. Too many people on this planet are consumed with the same hatred that consumed me. They have been taught to despise the Jewish state. Many Muslims by their religion, many others by their college professors or student groups. So here is my challenge to anyone who feels this way. Do what I did. Seek out the truth for yourself. If the truth could change me, it can change anyone. I'm Kasey Hafiz for Prager University.
YouTube bans PragerU video of Muslim denouncing anti-Semitism and promoting peace. Popular conservative/libertarian channel PragerU is once again being censored by Google and YouTube for a video deemed too hateful. The video is titled "Born to Hate Jews," and while the title seems dark, the message is the exact opposite. The speaker this time around is Kasey Hafiz, founder of the Israel Campaign. And in the video he tells the story of his journey from being a Muslim who came very close to being a terrorist against Israel, to a man whose first-hand education led him to stand with country he previously hated. The core of his message is that he discovered that Israel is not the horrible, oppressive, and murderous state that many Muslim parents teach their children, and college professors teach their students. He uses the story to point out that education about his enemy turned his enemy into his friend. Do what I did, encourages Hafiz. Seek out the truth for yourself. If the truth could change me, it can change anyone. Watch the video below, hear Hafiz's story, and you will see that there is nothing hateful about it. However, YouTube banned the video, labeling the video as hate speech. YouTube's removal of PragerU's video is particularly alarming. YouTube labeled the video as hate speech, which is ironic since the video is about fighting hatred and anti-Semitism, and is presented by a Muslim, said PragerU's communication director Jared Sickle. Hafiz himself weighed in as well, saying it's disturbing that a video about how I don't hate Jews anymore is flagged hate speech. George Orwell would blush. Google and YouTube have censored PragerU in the past as well, having placed some of their educational content in the restricted column, which would block videos from being seen in places like schools, where these videos would have the most impact. While PragerU's videos have not carried mainstream messages, and even covered topics from views that are not politically correct. They have never been inflammatory, obscene, or hateful. That YouTube is labeling this video promoting peace, understanding, and factuality as hate speech raises questions that should be asked about what values lay at the heart of the company.